Just a few weeks ago, we had these gentlemen in here to talk about this wonderful Flags for Heroes event, Midday Rotary, and Erick Lauber is with us this morning, George Karlheim, and it's here. The time is here, isn't it? Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you both with us here today. George, this is something we talked about a few weeks ago, and there's a really significant special ceremony coming up tomorrow.
Absolutely. As you go by St. Andrews, you will currently see that the flags are already in place, and we have the ceremony tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock, and we would invite the public to come to the ceremony. It doesn't cost anything, and it's very touching. It's in honor of everybody's heroes, and the Midday Rotary is sponsoring the event, so we are pleased to do so.
Yeah. So what exactly is going to happen at the event, Eric?
Well, we have an agenda right here. So the event starts at 6. We're going to have a Pledge of Allegiance and some opening remarks from some of the Midday Rotary members, and then an invocation by Major General Rod Ruddock, USA retired. And then George will talk a bit about our project and how we got it off the ground. I don't know if people know that we borrowed this idea from lots of other Rotary clubs across the country, do the exact same thing. For Memorial Day, and of course, Armed Forces Week and Day was just a couple of weeks ago, ended last Saturday. During the event, we'll also read off the names of everybody's hero that sponsored a medallion, and then we'll have the presentation of medallions. When people pick up the medallion, they'll shuttle or walk down the hill to the flags and hang them on the flag themselves, and they'll stay there for about 2 weeks. Yeah, about till June 17th.
Yeah, what an amazing moment that must be for each and every one of them. It's very personal, isn't it, George?
It is, especially after you get your medallion and you leave St. Andrews and you approach the bottom of the hill, and we have the bagpiper, and kind of a moment where you can think about your hero as well, and you get that time to yourself or with your family members, and you can dedicate that to them.
Yeah, like it's in my case, I dedicated 2 last year to my father who served in the Army and my brother who was a Marine. This year I'm dedicating to my nephew who served in the Army. And ironically, I just got a call the other day. My son's thinking about joining the Army. So
wow.
It's just it's an opportunity to acknowledge the service of the veterans. And all the money that we gather from this activity goes to veterans organizations. For example, the Veterans Parsonage. I don't know if many of your listeners know about that. It's on Oakland Avenue. It's a place for veterans to stay when they come back as they kind of get themselves back acclimated to and moving along. They stay for maybe 6 to 9 months, and our money goes to pay for things like food items, clothing, bus passes, repairs to the building, any other thing the veteran might need to succeed to get him through that transition period.
Yeah. Kevin Laser comes on and talks about the Veterans Parsonage a lot because it's really close to his heart. We think of the word plight when we think of veterans using the parsonage, but I think we actually should turn that conversation to hope, because this is what gets them back on solid footing and gives them the chance to turn and make a really positive change in their life.
Yeah, I mean, having a brother be a Marine and a nephew serving in Iraq in the Army, there is a transition period when they come back. It's a different lifestyle to come out of that and then land on this soil and suddenly they're not having the day-to-day life that we've had for the last few years. So.
Yeah, it is. You used the right word there. It's a transition. George, Eric mentioned the fact that this is an idea that came from other Rotary clubs across the nation. How did it get started in Indiana County, and sort of walk us through the process of how it's come to this point?
Well, the Rotary got together and discussed it. There was Lewes Beach from Delaware. They did it, and we said, let's try it. And we didn't know what last year was going to bring, but we purchased the flags and started talking as a group, because this is a group activity. So we said, let's tackle this, and it's been easy because it's a good event to do, something that you can put your heart into, and you know that it's worthwhile.
Yeah, absolutely. So for folks who don't know how it is, what are the mechanics of it, and how can I get involved for next year, since this year's medallions are already ready to go, take us through that process.
Well, typically we put word out maybe a couple of months at a time that we're now available. We have a website, Indiana Midday Rotary, that people can go to, and they can purchase the flags. We've turned that off now because it's a little bit too late for the ceremony. But they purchased the medallion in honor of a hero, and they put their name on that medallion. George has an example right there.
Yeah, this is one of those moments when I wish we were on Facebook Live.
Yeah,
we could show folks that.
Show that off. And then they come to the ceremony. We read off the names. And they get the medallion at that time. It's got a nice red, white, and blue ribbon attached to it, like a lanyard. Then they walk down and hang it on the flag, and the bagpiper plays during that ceremony. And then they get a moment there to kind of honor them. And then at the end of the period where we take the flags down June 17th, we make sure they get that medallion back. Yeah. And then they can keep it or pass it along to the hero if they choose. Yeah. Every now and then somebody will just keep it for next year if the person's deceased, and they'll bring it back.
If I don't know that Josh is back there listening, but if he is, Josh, come up and take a picture of this. It is really a gorgeous medallion. It's about 3.5, 4 inches across.
Yeah, it's really nice. And we got to thank Crooked Creek Creations for helping us with the medallions and making them out.
And this one is on the front, of course, is the American Eagle with the flag in the background. It says 2018 Flags for Heroes, Indiana Midday Rotary Club on the back. This one belongs to George, and it's in honor of Ralph Karlheim, who I assume is your dad?
Yeah, that is correct.
Your dad. And so this is going to get hung again this year, is it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm going to hand that back to you because that's a valuable artifact for you.
If I could just mention a plug Midday Rotary for just a second.
Please do.
Our club is motto. It's all the Rotary's mottos: service above self. So the Midday Rotary is the lunchtime Rotary in Indiana. We meet at St. Andrews at noon on Thursday. Mm-hmm. Everybody's welcome to attend and try us out and see if they want to join a Rotary. There's another Rotary that meets Monday evenings. We call it the Evening Rotary. It's also in Indiana. And Rotary does a lot of different things worldwide, and we do a lot of things locally as well. So in addition to this and another Cash Bash fundraiser we do all kinds of volunteer activities, and most importantly, we get to know each other.
Yeah.
And so, people think of it as a business networking group, but we're very informal about that. It just comes down to, if I need an insurance agent, I'm going to call Monica Jones because I know her really well. She's a fantastic person. If I need a lawyer, I'm going to call Chris Buell. He's the president of our club right now, and he works at Banya, Degor, and Gaza. If I need a bank, I'm going to call George Karlheim.
There you go.
You get to know the people really well. You get to see how good their heart is and the kind of service they've given the community. And we're lucky that we've been able to sponsor a high school club as well down in Homer City.
Yeah.
So there's an Interact club down there that does a lot of tremendous volunteerism. Isn't that right, George?
That is correct. And you also see us at Light Up Night and the wreaths for the...
We do the wreaths for veterans around the county, ring the bells of Salvation Army. I mean, there's a lot that we do.
Yeah, there really is. I mean, we get, anytime we hear from Rotary, it's usually having to do with some amazing thing that they're doing, whether it's your club or the other. But it's always it impresses me that you're so involved that there is always something coming up next, and so that's the sign of a really good and active club. Yeah. Unfortunately, in today's day and age, people aren't club joiners, but we would like to make that change.
We'd like to change that. I mean, I don't think people understand how much you get out of joining a club like that. Mm-hmm. I've been a member for 15 years. It's a fantastic experience. Everybody should join at least something.
There you go. Okay, so this event tomorrow night is at what time, George?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. Anybody can come.
Yep.
Parking on top of the hill there at St. Andrews?
There is, and they have a shuttle as well going down to the bottom of the hill. Okay. And for those who want to, they're welcome to park at Marion Center Bank parking lot down below and be right across the road and come over for the ceremony. It doesn't cost anything, and it is touching, and I think the weather's going to hold up for us.
One thing we haven't mentioned is the scope of this. How many of the flags and medallions will there be tomorrow?
There are 100 flags.
100.
And we have almost all the medallions.
Almost all of them are medallions. 90 or more medallions have already been dedicated or sponsored.
It's amazing. So.
And next year we hope to make that greater. So as Eric said in advance, we'll come back out again next year. And your hero does not always have to be somebody from the military as well. It could be somebody a teacher or somebody who has helped you in your life. Yeah. And that's the point. It's the individual's hero.
Absolutely. So we'll keep our eyes on the website, the Facebook page, and be able to keep up to date on when things are happening there, and ask the groundhogs to dig a few more holes.
Right, need a few more holes from the groundhogs. Yeah, exactly.
Going to plant some more flags. Groundhogs get to work. We need a few more holes.
Absolutely.
Gentlemen, thanks so much for coming in to visit.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. It is heading into the Memorial Day weekend, and this is very, very meaningful.